On. बोल. मग नंतर तिथे शिफ्ट होईल का? दोन्हीकडे झूम झालंय का सुरू?
हा पण क्लॅरिटी तेवढी जशी क्लिअर पाहिजे तशी यायला नाही.
म्हणजे त्याच्यावर
2 minutes. Next continue. 2 minutes. Coach காதுங்கோ. நான் அதுக்கு தான் பர்பின் இருக்கேன். அதுக்குள்ள நான் வந்தேன்.
प्रेझेंटेशन
வச்சு பார்க்கலாம் தோணுச்சு.
सुरू करूया.
Zoom meeting. Next continue. 2 minutes. Coach காதுங்கோ. நான் அதுக்கு தான் பர்பின் இருக்கேன்.
लिंक का पाठवतो
युट्यूबची लाईव्ह तुम्हाला पाठवतो.
हो
And thank you for coming here, physically being present here for
बंद केली का PPT? असं दिसत राहणार
तुम्ही युट्यूबवर आहे ना सर, आपलं झूमवर आहे त्यामुळे स्क्रीन लाईव्ह
ते कर ना, मिनिमाइज कर ना. हा इकडे इथे बस. सांगितलं रे
त्यांना किती बसू दे कॅमेऱ्याच्या समोर.
मी अच्छा मी तिकडे बसू का? नो नो प्रॉब्लेम. असं कर ना, मला दिसू दे. हा बस. हॅलो हॅलो गुड इव्हनिंग एव्हरीबडी. Is it okay if I talk in English? Yeah? Mix? Okay, so what is the mixed language that you prefer? Hindi? Hindi. Okay. So, I'll introduce myself first. I am architect Abhijit Sawant, partner architectural associate. So, over here I am here to do a presentation on we doing as project management consultancy for redevelopment of societies. So first I'll show you a brief introduction AV of my company. Sudarshan. Sir, वो प्ले नहीं हो रहा है, इसका वॉल्यूम करो ना. हेलो.
Hello. Hello. Hello.
Yes, बोलिए.
No, I'm just trying to find out if this is getting connected. I'm just
One
helping
minute,
my
one
mom.
Yeah, please speak.
Yeah. Hello.
Yes.
Yeah. Can you hear me? I'm Saroja Venkatraman's daughter online.
Yeah, Saraswati, बोलो.
हाँ. नहीं, सुनने में आ रहा है क्या? I was just helping her to fix the mobile. So I just thought I will just communicate to see whether everything is fine.
Yeah, everything is fine now.
It's fine,
He's starting the presentation. Just
okay,
now.
he's okay. Yeah. இப்படியே போட்டுக்கோ. ரைட் கால். சார்ஜர் இப்படி டர்ன் பண்ணு.
இது எப்படி பேசினேன் எனக்கு பேச வரலையே.
இதுல வெச்சுக்கணும். உள்ளுக்குள்ள இப்படி வெச்சுக்கணும். நீ ஒரு क्वेश्चन கேக்குற போது அதுல பேசணும்.
இதுலயா?
இப்படி இருக்குது.
ஹலோ.
இப்போ பேசாதே. அவ மீட்டிங் ஸ்டார்ட் அந்த சார்ஜர்ல
ये नहीं ना सर आवाज.
இப்பதான் சாலுவா?
சாலு பண்றான்.
குங்குமத்தை எடுத்து இட்டுக்கோ.
சார்ஜர்ல போடு. அது கிட்டக்கு வச்சு இப்படி பேசு.
मगाशी आलेला ना. नाही, याचा साऊंड नाही येत आहे. प्रेझेंटर व्यू मध्ये जरा. प्रेझेंटर व्यू मध्ये जा. हा फुल आहे. मगाशी त्याच्यात ना प्रेझेंटर व्यू मध्ये जा. म्हणजे राईट क्लिक केलेस ना तू. राईट क्लिक केलेस ना. इकडे नाही. इकडे राईट क्लिक केले.
Hello.
Hello, Vidya.
Yeah.
Can you hear me, Saroja Venkatraman?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. Meeting started?
No, it will start soon.
Okay, Betty. Thank you, Ma.
Thank you. Yeah. Please, 01:9288. This number is there, seen as a participant. Can you please rename yourself?
But, Betty?
Acha, she's the same one.
Saraswati.
ठीक है.
He's after the Chinese.
Can we off this light?
இது சரியா வச்சிருக்கேனா?
நான் அப்படிதான். அவ உன்னோட பேசுறது காது விழுது அவளுக்கு.
கேக்குறதுனால. ஓகே.
Actually lose है त्याच्यात.
You can please mute yourself.
Mute பண்ணுங்க. Mute. Yeah.
அந்த தட்டு அந்த
எது?
ப்ளூ ரவுண்ட தட்டு ப்ளூ ரவுண்ட தட்டு
चल वाजतोय बघ कितीचा आवाज येतोय कितीचा आवाज येतोय कारण थोडं जाऊ दे थोडं जाऊ दे बरगडी नाही रे फुल आहे रे तिकडे मगाशी आलेला आवाज हो मगाशी आला होता थोडं जाऊ दे सर माझं तुमच्या मोबाईल मध्ये असेल ना तेवढा बुद्धी आहे ना तुमचा मोबाईल त्याला डायरेक्ट जाऊ दे आहे ते प्रेझेंट करा पण माईक करून लागेल का त्याला आवाज येईल नाही त्याच्यात नाही हो याच्यात नाही येते एनिवे जाऊ दे ना सोड ना एव्ही चालू होते तेच करतो आता अरे कंट्रोल प्ले इधर याच्याकडे ती बाहेर anyway so ठीक आहे मॅडम जाऊ दे आता लेट्स प्रेझेंट ठीक आहे सो दिस इज अ very old company since 1942 originally a British company taken over by two Indian architects in 1960s Mr. Anand Pandit and Mr. Vasant Pansare. We had our offices in Charisma Center on the 19th road till 2003 when the approval office shifted to Vikroli from Ghatkopar. We also shifted from Chembur to Vikroli. So currently we are in Hindustan Kohinoor Industrial Complex, right beside the building proposal office, जहाँ पे our plans, whenever we appoint a developer, will get approved. So that's a brief. We are developing more than 4 million square feet in redevelopment, and we are also on the board of bank for cell development. So that's a brief history of our company. Next. So, Mr. Payne was the original British architect in 1942. Mr. Vasant Pansare and Mr. Anand Pandit. Anand Pandit lives in Devnar Bagh in Sri Dattaguru Cooperative Housing Society. Myself, Abhijit Sawant and Devendra Sawant, we took over the company in 2003. I've been working in this company for almost 25 years now. Mr. Tushar Oak, Sanjay Balmiki, and Dilip Varadkar. These are all our associates working on the self-development model plus the developer model. Mr. Tushar Oak is an ex-Times of India classified. Mr. Sanjay Balmiki is an ex-Cushman Wakefield. And Mr. Dilip Varadkar is an ex-auditor of MCGM. So whenever we audit developers, all these three persons come for auditing the developers at various levels, right from their experience in redevelopment of societies to execution of projects and checking out the finances and the conversation with societies. So that is the history of my company in brief. Next. Since 2009, we are into redevelopment, but we are working for only bigger projects. So our projects are from around 15,000 square meters to 30,000 square meters in redevelopment. And these are projects which are almost 8 years to 10 years in progress, because 3 projects are without transit projects, wherein the society people are not moving out, and there is a big ground in the society wherein projects are getting redeveloped. We are doing very limited projects. We do only 1 or 2 projects a year because we are also into other practices of institutional buildings, auditoriums, etc. We are also into industrial development. We are one of the shortlisted architects for Lupin Industries, US Vitamins. We are also on the board of MARA, then on the industrial board of Maharashtra. So since 2009, when we went into redevelopment per se, all our senior consultants, including Sapre & Associates, Architects Collaboration, Komal Kandarkar, Khurana. So Sapre & Associates is again a 40-year-old company. Architects Collaboration, they are one of the top MARA architects in Mumbai. Komal Kandarkar are our solicitors. Khurana, Mr. Khurana is our tax consultant. Mr. Chetan Tolia, our RCC consultant. Mr. Modak, electrical as well as energy consultant. Business research and developer interface, Mr. Sanjay Valmiki. Sales in a redevelopment project or self-development project, Mr. Tushar O. Finance with respect to interface with the bank, Mr. Dilip Varadkar, and projects, Mr. Hemant Deshmukh. So in redevelopment, we work as an umbrella of consultants. 6 offices work together at various levels of redevelopment. So in redevelopment, primarily there are 4 stages. First is the feasibility report, where architectural associates and the legal consultants work together. So we study the FSI and the project cost and the sales part, whereas my legal team works on the society conveyance documents, the individual agreements, the property cards, the city surveys. So we check whether the title of the society is appropriate enough or marketable enough to go into a redevelopment process, because that is the first thing that a developer will ask. Post the feasibility, when the tendering process starts, tendering in terms of the specifications, time schedules, insurances, manner of working, the bank guarantees, all these aspects which needs to be put into the tender. Therein, my legal team, my RCC consultant, and my tax consultant, all these people work together and make the tender document. During the developer scrutiny stage, my developer analysis team, which is, what is next slide? Which is Mr. Sanjay Valmiki, Mr. Oak, and Mr. Varadkar. They come into picture and they do the entire scrutiny of the developer. And during the project execution stage, the initial approval part, that is presentation to the society by the developer and whatever he represents in the corporation, checking both these interfaces is done by architectural associates. Then the development agreement, tripartite agreement, power of attorney, individual consent letter is checked by my legal team. During the process of construction, that is checking the quality of construction and whether the developer is building as per the municipal approved plans is checked by my municipal team and my structural engineer, and the overall development with the developer, with the managing committee, with the society, and between my consultants is coordinated by architectural associates. So you get a one-point contact for the design, the legal, the approvals, and the on-site construction under one head of architectural associates represented by my 6 different offices. So the advantage to the society is it is not one legal advisor who is working, but a complete office is working for you. The society has an option of appointing their independent legal advisor, but still my team continues to work for the security and the documentation of my office. So that's the advantage with the society, and that's an advantage to my office also. So all these consultants work on all redevelopment projects or self-development projects together. And these are all senior consultants which are associated with my office prior to we taking over the office, but still continue to be in practice with my firm. Next. We work in both models. We work in a developer model also, in a self-development model also. Over here, I'll talk only on the developer model. The process of the tender, registrars, NOC, development agreement, power of attorney, I think everything has been told to you, and we have been briefed that people are well aware of all these procedures. So I'll go to the next part. Next. So I'll go to the project part. Some of the audio is not working. Next. So this is our second largest project in Chembur, Nityanand Bagh. Actually, the work started in 2014. The developer was appointed in 2012. But since 2014, the DCPR 2034 is trying to come in. So the first DCR that came in was 2014 to 2034, which got scrapped in 2016. The next DCR came in 2016, got approved in 2018, and got implemented in 2019. So for the past 5 years, almost all work in Mumbai are stalled, or redevelopment works in Mumbai are stalled because of want of a development control regulation. In 2020, in October, they finalized the DCPR 2020 in totality. There was an EP2 which got approved in 2020. So now the entire DCR is under implementation, and there are 2 aspects which are still remaining in the new DCR. One is the reduction of premiums, which they are proposed to slashing it by 50% because there is quite a bit of slump in real estate market. And second is a road setback FSI, which is also due to come in this month's time. Then the DCR will be complete by itself. So the work started in 2014, and since 2014 we have stopped work because the FSI policy was not clear. But this was the first project to go into redevelopment beside the monorail. So if you see this project, this is the RC Marg monorail, and the first flag of the existing people is starting above the monorail. So 324 members, close to 1800 parking, with 2 parking been allotted to each and every member, plus the sales flags. So that's the project with 4 towers. This project is outside the airport funnel. So it is ground plus 32 plus 7 podiums. Next. So the entire, this property has a mandir within the property. Clubhouse, seniors garden, the kids garden on the 8th floor. This was our first project in Jivan Nagar. We were the PmC till 2014. Okay. Yeah. And now I am the chairman of the society. we are handing over the phase 1 next month. Actually, we have to hand over it in October, but because of the COVID-19 pandemic, we have shifted the date 4 months ahead because of want of approval. This is a project without transit. This is an ex-LIC employee society with 27 buildings as existing buildings. The first tower, that is this tower, is been constructed in an open ground. All 27 buildings are still intact on site. The first phase of ground plus 14, we are now handing it over to the society. 133 members will shift in the first tower. 13 buildings will be demolished, and then the second tower work will commence. So this is the project. This project of phase 1 is almost completed. We are waiting for the part OC to come. It is due to come in the first week of February, and by March, we will complete the phase 1 occupation and start the phase 2 somewhere around May to June. So that's one of our partly completed project. Next. This is Sri Govind Nagar project, completely designed in our office. We have shortlisted 2 developers for the project, and we are the designers. This is Tejpunj in Mulund. The work is due to start in March. We have received the parking approval, the CFO approval. We have received the IOD of FSI 0, because now the procedure is first you get the plinth CC. Post taking of the plinth CC, the other FSI is loaded. So this is at the 90 feet road in Mulund East. Next. This is our largest project in Chembur. Navjivan Cooperative Housing Society. 516 members with 35 existing buildings. We did the feasibility in 4 different FSI regulations. One is a regular TDR proposal, wherein under the TDR proposal, even at your end, where you have an 18-meter road, you are eligible to an FSI of 3.24. This society under the TDR proposal was eligible to an FSI of 3.38. Then we did another 3 proposals. One is a parking policy, wherein you have to give certain land for parking of outside vehicles and you get an FSI of 4. Then we did cluster redevelopment, where you get an FSI of 3, plus you get an additional FSI of 1 for building Mara houses of 300 square feet each within the property. And then we did 3311, which is a permanent transit camp policy for developing an SRA somewhere within 5 kilometers radius of the property, taking that SRA FSI onto your plot and developing a new development under 4 FSI. But the advantage is, in that FSI, you don't have to build a SRA building in your plot. So when an FSI increases in Chembur, where the height restriction is 51 meters for the build form, it is obvious that higher the FSI, more the flats, more the buildings, and a living quality, which is called livability, gets hampered because you have lot many buildings coming close to each other. So we designed the entire 10 acres of land and showed it to them. What is the difference between a good living and 100% area increment living? Next. So these are all the existing buildings. So what we showed them is, एक slide में आगे जा सुदर्शन. So when you develop under FSI 4 plus the fungible which makes it FSI 5, these are the kind of development that you will get, where the buildings are absolutely close to each other. You can almost talk with people in front. When you want 100% increment in your existing area, that's why you want a higher FSI, but you have a height restriction, and that's how buildings come. Then we showed them, when you have a lesser FSI where you can get additional area from 40 to 50%, see what happens to the development. Next. So that's the kind of building that you can design, wherein you have ventilation from all 4 sides. they still feel that they are closer to the golf course, but actually they see the complete SRA on the backside. The golf course view is only enjoyed by people living over here, wherein the existing buildings over there don't want to go on that side. So what is the advantage when you want to design for people over here? You give them more open spaces all around, so that there is no injustice to the existing users, which is very important in redevelopment. Why developers are coming to you? Because you own a piece of land very close to Chembur station, very close to all kinds of garden, right from Diamond Garden to Sandu Garden to Ambedkar Udyan, and you are on the main Central Avenue road. That's why developers are coming to you. So you should realize your importance first, the offer that you are getting, and the livable conditions, which is very important in redevelopment. Next. There we are also on the church board. We are developing quite a bit of properties for the church all around Bombay. So this is property in Bandra, 10,000 square meters. So this is phase 1 development. So we are developing the phase 1 over here, and then these 5 buildings will be developed, 10,000 square meters. Project completely designed in our office. So if you see, the sale building and the existing users building is the same. There is no difference between a sale building and the existing members building. In all our proposals, we see to it that both the buildings, in terms of appearance, construction quality, looks, only what changes is the interior finish, because the developer might give a better modular kitchen or an inbuilt modular kitchen to the sale flat, because that is what he wants to sell. But exterior, common amenities, lobbies, parking, etc., everything should be the same for existing users also. So this is 10,000 square meters in Nirmala Colony. This is in Sion. This what you see is the new Bandra BKC connector. So Chunapatti is on this side and Bandra is on that side. So this is C-in society between Chunapatti station and Sion station. 18,000 square meters B1 property with 157 members. So we have completed the feasibility and the design. We'll be going to the developer stage next. These are our other projects. In Twinkle Star, 10,500 square meters. We have been involved with Twinkle Star since 2016. First, they had done an agreement with Vadwa developers. Post that, Vadwa developers split, and then Vadwa developers said that we are no longer interested in redevelopment of properties. Then we floated the tender. They had received 3 bids, one from Shade developer, second from Tri-City, and third from one local developer. Then the DCR changed. The DCR got scrapped in 2018 and the new DCR came in. In between 2016 and 2018, there was a High Court stay on all kinds of development. So in 2018, they decided to go in for the self-development model. We got a sanction of 110 crores and we are due to start in 2020, and RBI put a sanction on Mumbai Bank for not disbursing loans for self-development. And now we are again going into the redevelopment model, and we have got 3 offers, one from Tri-City, one from Vijay Khetan Group, and third from Lakhani developers. So these are the 3 offers we have received. A week back, we got the permission to conduct an HGM post the COVID-19 pandemic. So we have applied to the local police station for an NOC first, for an HGM on the 10th of January 2020. Post we get an NOC from the police station, we'll have to apply to the ward for their permission, post which you are allowed to conduct an HGM. That's the procedure now. So we are going in for the developer model. I am doing quite a bit of projects. SEMA also, we finalized with Kukreja developers. We were there to sign the agreement with Kukreja developers, and Kukreja developers backed out because the DCR got scrapped. So there are societies which have been trying for redevelopment. It's a pure case of not been lucky at the right time. I think now is the right time for going for redevelopment because the DCR is now almost final. Once the premium reduction comes in for the next 1 year till December 2021, I think you should speed up the process and take this faster. In Chembur, close to your society, I am doing Navagita. Navagita, which had problems with Shubham developers, they cancelled the agreement. Now they are going into a redevelopment model again. 3 developers have bid for the project. Mahavir developers, which are from Chembur, Shri Krishna developers, which are from Chembur, and Lakhani developers, which are from New Bombay. I am doing Bombay Suburban District government servants, wherein Obera developers had come earlier. They gave an offer of 110% incremental area, and as soon as the DCR got scrapped, they also backed out of the project. So over there, again, there are 3 developers, Shed developers, Yogeshwari developers, and Lakhani developers. So now that the AGM permissions have come, we are trying to hold an AGM somewhere around February, and we can take it ahead. I am doing one self-development project on the 6th road in Chembur, which is Basant Vihar, smaller society, 870 square meters. And there we are doing it with Mumbai Bank. We are almost there with the loan sanction of around 17 crores. But the development will start post the RBI clearance to Mumbai Bank. So these are our projects in Chembur. And overall, I am doing one project in Pali Hill. This is in Swastik Park, where Dharmani Group are doing the project. This is in Oshiwara District Center near the new Ram Mandir station, where one of the developers has been appointed. And all other projects I have already given it to you. I'll just quickly show some of my other projects. Next. Wherein we are the architects. This is a project of self-development in Borivali, 2000 square meters, wherein we have received the parking approval, the CFO approval. The IOD approval we have almost received, but we kept it on hold during this pandemic time. Next. So it is in R of ground plus 2 podiums plus 20 floors. A completely Vastu compliant building, that's the requirement of the client, with no flat having a south entrance. So people are very sensitive about Vastu nowadays. And these are other projects. Adinarayan, we have just put it up for approval. Grand Canaan in Pali Hill, Himangi Maheshwar, Basant Vihar, which I told you, which is very close to you. And then there are certain project activities that you should get used to when you are doing redevelopment. So the common amenity is something that I will just quickly run through. Next. The living room, the bedroom, the toilets, you can have your own fancies about a bathtub or shower cubicles. Smaller things, you have a good parcel of land. You can definitely have some good recreational areas. You will realize that in this pandemic times, what people missed the most in single buildings were gardens and better podiums. Because people were not venturing out of their society. There were several restrictions. But see to it that you have a society with at least a better garden. You can always compromise on the parking, shift the parking to a tower parking. But a better livable condition is what you should aim at. Of course, the additional area, the corpus, everything you will get it. But you have to live in a building for the next 40 years. So let's have a better building with better amenities. Next. You get 2% of your total built-up area free of FSI for constructing either a yogalaya or a fitness center. In bigger projects, you can do the clubhouses. But get this thing from the developer, because these are some smaller spaces wherein you can really spend your day. Next. Parkings, nowadays parkings are available in many options. There is a regular stilt parking, there are stack parking, there is tower parking. Now in Basant Vihar, in 870 square meters, what we are doing is we are installing tower parking. We have removed the entire parking in the stilt area, converted it into a nice fitness center with gardens on two sides, and on one side there is access to the tower parking. So better livable conditions. Good lobbies. You should see to it that if there are two lifts for each wing, at least one lift should be a stretcher elevator. Medical emergencies. Many people now have started ordering online. So you cannot expect somebody to climb 14 floors. So it's also called as goods lift, but popularly now known as stretcher elevator for medical emergencies, which is very critical. Next. Now it's allowed to have terrace gardens. In the new DCR, you are allowed to take the lift up till the terrace, and you can create good artificial gardens with potted plants on the terrace. Don't ask the developer to create lawns on the terrace because that's a leakage point for the people living below. But create good ambience on the terrace and take the lift without fail up to the terrace. New provisions for the next 30 years, post 2030, the EV vehicles will start getting cheaper. India is planning to go into electric vehicles post 2030. So after every 2 car parks, there should be a charging point. For alternative energies, you can shift to solar for hot water or solar lighting for common areas. Shift all your lighting to LED, wherein the power consumed by a 50 watts bulb is similar to a power consumed or the light luminosity of a similar 50 watt luminous LED strip. But the power consumption of LED is far lesser than the power consumption of a normal bulb. So shift to energy conservation. These are all mandatory provisions in all our redevelopment. Security cameras. Then rainwater harvesting, which is compulsory by corporation. What you can add on is you can have a small water treatment plant, which is now given by Eureka Forbes Ion Exchange. If you are planning to have a borewell, then that hard water can be converted into soft water, can be used for drinking, or from the rainwater harvesting, you can use that water for your garden, for your car washing, and for washing of the entire area. Or you can put it through special piping, which is for hard water, and use it in your flushing systems. So that's an advantage for having some water treatment facility within the society. Firefighting, again made compulsory by the corporation. And appropriate signages. This is very important in a tower-like building where you are now shifting from a ground +3 to a ground +14 or a ground +15 building. You are all senior citizens, but if there is a fire emergency in the night, when the first thing that goes off is light, a good signage system will enable you to run either to the ground floor or to the refuge floors post the 7th floor, from wherein the firefighting systems or the firefighting personnel will evacuate you out. So very important in new developments. Then RERA has come into place. Even though we as society members are not protected under RERA, but the project is protected under RERA, which is a real estate regulatory authority. So what is the advantage of RERA is, first, the developer cannot sell the flats without registering the project in RERA. So the project is registered in RERA post the commencement certificate to the project. So the developer can start selling only post registration in RERA. Earlier, what used to happen is, the developer used to sign the development agreement, give a little lunch to the existing members, and starts selling it at the other end. Now this is all stopped. He has to submit all his plans of entire ground plus 14 floors, mark which are flats for existing members and which are flats for sale. Also mention what is his FSI approved, and then only sell flats. The other advantage or protection under RERA is 70% of the flats that he has sold, the 70% of that amount will be used only for your project and cannot be transferred to any other project. And whatever documents that he uploads on RERA, be it his plans, his approvals, his financial audits every 3 months, has to be certified by architects, practicing engineers, and practicing chartered accountants. So, if he forges any document or removes any money which is not used for your project and it is not reflected in his audit, but is signed by a chartered accountant, the chartered accountant will go to jail. If he builds anything which is other than what has been approved and what has been uploaded on RERA, the approval architect will go in jail and his license will be cancelled because the architect who is responsible for the project has not supervised the project. So if you see what is written in RERA, withdrawal of such accounts shall be in proportion to the percentage of completion of work, which shall be certified by engineer and architect and a chartered accountant in practice. Project accounts to be audited, financial year copy to be submitted to RERA. RERA is Maharashtra RERA. So RERA protects the project. The development agreement protects all the existing members of the society. So it is very important to have a sound development agreement. Yeah, we'll go to that stage next. Next session. So I'll just briefly go through the stages of development, the feasibility, verification of requisite documents, preparing the financial and technical feasibility. Technical feasibility meaning what is your title, whether the property card is in your name or not, the conveyance is with you or not. Many societies do not have it. Is there any area that is going into road widening? What is the status of the registration of existing documents of the society? Based on that, what are the bylaws under the DCPR 2034 applicable to you? What is your ready reckoner rate? That is your land and residential, because all the premiums are based on land ready reckoner rate. What is the FSI available to you? What is the construction cost? What is the premiums cost? What is the consultant cost? What is the rent that will be provided to you? What is the brokerage, the deposit, the corpus, the shifting allowance? What are the taxes applicable to you? Which is the GST and the sales and marketing cost, the administrative cost, and the interest on investment. All this together make the project cost. And after he gives you the additional area, what is the sale area left to him? What is the market rate that is going around your project? So we will give you ready references from the market. For example, on the Gymkhana Road, Sri Krishna developer has launched now 2 projects. The ongoing rate is around 32,000 to 34,000. So if the developer sells his flat at 30 to 34,000, what is the profit that he might get? General thumb rule of the market is, if a developer invests 100 rupees, he should recover around 35 to 40 rupees after the entire project cost is deducted. That is the general thumb rule of the market. So this is your technical and financial feasibility. Then comes the planning next. The agreements. Agreements meaning your tripartite agreement, your power of attorney, your individual consent letter, your development agreement, the master planning. If the developer has any bank documentation to be done, everything will be included in the agreement part. Approval, the developer needs to submit all plans and documents for approval to the society. Earlier, what used to happen is, since we gave a power of attorney to the developer used to sign the documents and submit it to corporation. The society used to never know what he has submitted. We have changed that a little bit. We give the developer a limited power of attorney, but we make it mandatory in the development agreement that all documents submitted in whichever department has to be signed by 2 persons out of the managing committee, secretary, treasurer, and chairman. Any one single person signing any document on behalf of the society will be termed as a breach of agreement by the developer first, and the society can continue to proceed with legal action against that managing committee member. So it's very important that at least 2 persons know what is happening with the redevelopment project. So it's very important to have this matter noted, have this resolution passed, and incorporate the resolution in the development agreement. What powers you are giving to the managing committee? I am not saying that the managing committee misuses his power, but I will always say the managing committee should be protected, because managing committee is one body that is a link between the developer and the society. So even though they are doing work for the society, they should be restricted and also empowered to do certain things. Since I am a chairman of the society, I know what are the rules and regulations of societies, and how when something goes wrong, people come and shout at the managing committee. But when everything is right, nobody comes and pats the managing committee. So that's the thing in the society. So managing committee should always be careful, but the general body should also be careful in giving some empowering to the managing committee, but within the framework of the law. So that's very important. एक slide down करना. सुदर्शन आगे का हम आगे. So post approval, when you receive the IOD of the project and the developer asks you to vacate the building so that he can apply for commencement certificate, this is a very important stage of allotment, wherein once the IOD is in place, the development agreement clearly demarcates which are the flats for existing members and which are the flats for sale, because he has to represent that in RERA. As soon as you get an IOD, you should allot the flats to members, which means before I leave my flat, I need to know I am in which wing, on which floor, and which is my flat number, so that my tripartite agreement can be registered, because that is my only document beyond the development agreement wherein I can leave my flat and go away. If I am a young member and I want to buy additional area, then my tripartite agreement becomes a collateral in the bank, because my development agreement is signed. References of the development agreement is there in my tripartite agreement. So what is a tripartite agreement? It is an agreement between the developer and the member with society as the confirming party. That is why it is called as a tripartite agreement. If I have an existing loan in the bank and my building is going for demolition, then my registered tripartite agreement becomes collateral to the bank, based on which the bank will keep that tripartite agreement as in lien and give you an NOC for redevelopment. So allotment of flat and tripartite agreement is a very important document for members. Yeah. Now we can go to the next. Then yes, the construction happens, the sale happens, the audit of the project continues, the finishes, landscaping, site development, project amenities, and then the occupation comes in. Many a times, people have a little rush in going to the new flat, but we advise that till you receive the occupation certificate, do not shift into the new flat, although it is ready. My society, 133 flats are ready, but the developer has still not got the part OC, so we are not shifting, which is very important. Everybody knows that everybody wants to see the new flat, especially the senior citizens. But compliance is a compliance. If you shift before part OC, take it from me, the developer will never take the OC because he is not interested in paying the premium. Plus, if you do not take OC, your water charges and your assessment taxes get doubled. Yeah, so that's the stage. Next. Now, this is very important. Many a times, थोड़ा पानी में one. Many times, the members always say that the managing committee has certain rules and regulations to follow. The developer has certain rules and regulations to follow. The project management consultant has certain rules and regulations to follow. In a similar way, there are certain responsibilities of members. I am telling this purely for redevelopment, so that the project does not go into litigation at any point of time. But when members' responsibility comes, nobody points it out to them. So these are certain responsibility of members, which is very important. I'm not saying about self-development, but even for redevelopment, 100% consent is very important, because that is when a developer has the enthusiasm to work in a speedy manner. Otherwise, those one or two members blackmail the project. Oh God, aram se. Do all kinds of complaints in cooperative courts to the registrar, to the police station. I have faced it. I know them. But when there is 100% consent, the project gets completed faster. Secondly, all flats which are on rent within the society or lease should have a registered live and license agreement. Because if the building needs to be demolished, giving peaceful possession of that flat is the responsibility of the members. If there is no registered live and license agreement, the occupant can refuse to vacate. So, when you are going for redevelopment, see to it that all flats which are on lease or rent have a registered live and license agreement. If no, reprimand the member. If still he doesn't comply, issue a trespasser notice and submit to the local police station. Because you will never know who is inside and what can happen inside. So it's very important. Plus, if there is 100% consent for redevelopment, and if somebody wants to give his flat on rent, the redevelopment clause should be included. That whenever the society gives you notice, within a month's time, the flat should be vacated and peaceful possession should be given to the society. Then, whichever flats are on loan, lien or mortgage, details needs to be submitted to the managing committee so that can be reflected in the development agreement, that can be reflected in the tripartite agreement, and getting an NOC from the respective bank is the responsibility of the member. Not that the process is tedious, but the process has to be in place. Then, every member, if possible, needs to have an associate member on the flat, purely for the reason of attending general bodies, for decisions to be taken for redevelopment. Especially, appointment of developer, wherein it is mandatory to have 66% attendance for that meeting. Yeah? Then nomination on flat. Ignored 90 times out of 100. But nomination makes it easier for the managing committee to transfer membership during a redevelopment process. It is not necessary that you need to have only one nomination. So nomination can be to the wife, husband, all the sons and daughters. But the first nominee will become the member, subject to NOC from all other nominees. Please remember, you are all senior citizens, I need not tell it to you, but a nominee is not the owner of the flat. He only has the right to own the membership of the flat. The ownership of the flat is transferred while hereditary. So if a member dies and if the member has purchased the flat, then his wife or husband and the daughters and the sons become equal co-owners of the flat. But the society requires members, so the nominee becomes member. But if a member dies without a nominee on the flat, then the process of giving a paper notice, so on and so forth continues. So make sure that there is a nominee on each and every flat. Yeah, next. Then power of attorney. If somebody is not living in the country, is not living in the state, is unable to attend general bodies due to health reasons, then he should give a power of attorney to anyone, so that the power of attorney holder can take allotment on behalf of the member, can register the tripartite agreement on behalf of the member, can take the rental check in the name of the member, not in name of the power of attorney holder, and can take the checks of the corpus, the deposits, and the shifting allowance. The power of attorney holder cannot attend general body. That's very important. Yeah. Then, power of attorney holder, members, and the co-members needs to have PAN card and Aadhaar card for the basic requirement of registration. Then, if you want to make a co-member in the within the flat or within the membership, you can do a percentage gift deed, so that there is a co-owner who automatically becomes an associate member. If there is, we experience a lot of senior citizens who many a times have Parkinson's, wherein they are not able to sign documents. So a co-member can do it on their behalf. So it's always ideal to give deed. It not be to a wife, you can give it to a son, daughter, husband, anybody. Because now the bylaws allow the co-member to become an associate member. Yeah. If you are not doing any of this, do a will, so that there is an understanding after you who gets the flat, and a will makes the next person the owner of the flat. So there is a difference between a member and an owner post the death of the original member. Yeah. And during redevelopment, wherever you go for rental accommodation, whether you are in a vicinity or going to another flat or going to your town or village, please inform the society about your whereabouts, because your rental checks, your tripartite agreements, inform you about redevelopment, about special general body meetings, so on and so forth. It's a task to the managing committee. You can ask me. And contacting members is the most difficult job of everything. Emails, Zoom calls, WhatsApp, everything is available. But physical knowledge about where you are is very important. Yeah, so these are the roles, basic roles and responsibility of members. So a small section on why us, clicker. Clicker. Next clicker. So this is a small section, the last slide of why us. The advantage with us is the entire design approvals, engineering and legal under one consortium. We have an experience of redevelopment of societies with more than 250 members. We are used to volume. Everything in our office is licensed software because there is a lot of documentation from the society's part which is there in our custody. Absolute watertight documentation with all developers, even in self-development projects with banks. Energy audit and alternatives because of the consultants in place. Next. We have an ability to negotiate with large developers. So currently we are working with Kalpataru, Sheth, Lakhani developers, Tri-City, almost all developers in Chembur, be it Sandu developers, Sri Krishna developers, Mahavir developers, right? So all kinds of developers in the eastern and western suburb, all kinds of developers we are dealing with right now. But it's very important to have the right kind of documentation for the locality. Yeah. Assistance in generation of consensus, we always tell the managing committee, allow us to talk with the general body. What I have found as a chairman or as a consultant is the society people have a grudge about one single managing committee member and they have nothing to do with the redevelopment of the project, but they are opposing it simply because he is not happy with that person. So whenever a consultant makes a presentation, the consultant is in the right frame to answer to questions of the managing committee or the general body. Even though the managing committee knows everything about the project, the managing committee should avoid confrontation with members. You have appointed a consultant, you are giving him fees to work on your project, and then you avoid him calling to a general body to answer questions of members. Why? When you appointed a consultant, ask him to present. Yeah. Audit report at all levels, right from the development agreement to the design, to the execution, to the approvals, to the occupation. So there will be audit at all levels. Audit of design, municipal approvals, legal documentation, on-site construction, timelines of project, all kinds of audit will be done during the tenure of the project. Presence in all special general body meetings for redevelopment. Kindly take our time and then announce the general bodies. And if you are willing to appoint us till the occupation, the payments can be in phases, but then only we are interested. Because I take 2 or 3 projects a year. So I don't want to commit to lot many projects with little time. So that's how I work. If you see my profile, all are my working projects. And I am appointed since 2014 in many projects. The projects have seen a lot of time, but it has not happened that the society have removed us. Even the project might not have happened, but the effort is quite visible. You can check our background in any society in Chembur. I am doing close to 6 to 7 projects in Chembur. You can check our background and you will find that there is a positive response. I will not give you any number. Just walk into the society and ask anybody. Yeah, right from smaller societies of Basant Vihar to larger societies of Nityanand and Navjivan, you go and ask them about Architectural Associates and Abhijit Sawan, and I am damn sure that you will get a positive. Go to Bombay Suburban District Government Servant Society, which is almost 2 lanes away from you. Go to Sima Society. Even though the appointment of developer was done and Kukrage has opted out, which you can check with Kukrage and you can check with society, and you will get a positive response. I am not saying that because I have been working in Chembur, but that's the kind of relation that we have with society. Yeah, so this is our presentation. Thank you very much. And if there are any questions that needs to be asked or while through the Zoom meeting that you are doing, please let us know.
Hello.
Thank you, Mr. Abhijit, for a very nice, elaborate presentation.
Thank you.
I'm sure that is, all of us have come to know more about the development, the modalities, the responsibilities of everyone. So I would request the members who are present to please ask your queries. यदि सारी मैं अपने डाउट क्लियर कर दें so that we can go ahead and explain and open mind.
So what kind of response? What?
You already indicated that there is a response.
Yeah, sir. See, when I was on the managing committee, and I'll come ahead now, or you want me to see on Zoom? Hello. No, I think the camera is on this side. Yeah. So, yeah, you cannot switch on the light. See, whenever you are a managing committee member, I'm not saying the chairman in particularly, the fingers are always pointed at you, and it's a very broader responsibility, not just for redevelopment, but for overall management of the society also. It was a tough time since March in the COVID-19 pandemic, arranging everything, still roaming around to be secured against exposure, getting the monsoon shed works done. But within redevelopment, I think completion of the project on time becomes a responsibility. And when the developer is not performing, then documentation, reminders act as a very useful resource if you have to go in the court of law. You should avoid complete support to the developer, not that you should not support the developer in difficult times, but the documentation, if it is appropriate within the legal framework and in the interest of the society, then the society members will always support you. And as a managing committee member, I think answering to all questions of the society, be it any question, means it can be smaller also, but the people are looking to you as somebody who is going to complete the project under the tenure. Replacing a managing committee is no solution to the problem. Supporting the managing committee is the solution to the problem. Yeah. So if the consent to redevelopment is 100%, take it from me, the developer, be it any developer, will complete your project on time. Chembur is an excellent market, a educated market. People prefer living in Chembur because of the buzz in Chembur. Not that it is extremely business oriented, but there are so good restaurants, so nice marketplaces, so good educational institutes that people thrive to come to Chembur. And plus now the connectivity with the metro, mono, the Eastern Freeway, I think Chembur is a lovely place to live in. Sri Krishna developers in the pandemic times launched 4 projects, all sold out with a rate of 32 to 34,000 and with an area of around 800 square feet to 1000 square feet flats. That's what Chembur is all about. So support the managing committee. and I think the response will be extremely nice.
What sort of a redevelopment for our plot?
Pardon?
What sort of a redevelopment? Purely resident and for what the
I don't think I will be seen. It's okay, I'll stand. We are used to it.
If you sit here, no?
No, what I'll do is,
It should come on your face.
okay? Yes, sir.
what sort of a redevelopment pattern you would recommend for our
For your society, I don't know what is the status of that hawkers outside, whether they are licensed hawkers or not. They are licensed hawkers. Okay. So you'll have to plead in some way to the corporation that once our redevelopment is done, there should be some replacement facility for the hawkers. Not that we intend to remove them completely, but a partly commercial and residential should be the pattern in your society, with separate entrances to the commercial and the residential development. The commercial could be shopping on the ground floor and some office spaces on the first floor. Ideally could be shopping on the ground floor and residential at the back. Shopping will demand a good price in your area.
we have one side the main road, and the other side another road,
Correct.
and we have got a nice curve also.
Correct.
So this is attract more premium.
Yeah, it will attract. Sir, anyways your plot will attract more premium because you are on the Central Avenue Road.
So how do you plan for the resident?
Sir, residence planning is something that a developer will do. We will guide you during the feasibility post our appointment. But should be a mixed development, which should be comfortable to you. We will make feasibility for two kinds of development. One is shopping with residential, and second, if the society wants shopping and office building with residential behind.
Would you recommend bank or shopping or any other sort of?
Sir, shopping or bank, it is up to the developer's purview. Sir, it's not nothing to do with my recommendation. I'll tell you how it is. Shopping can be sold. So the developer will recover his investment faster and complete the project faster. Now, if the developer is financially sound enough that he would like to own that shopping and then give it to lease to bank, that is an option that the developer would like to have it. Banks normally are not interested in purchasing property. Banks are always interested in leasing property. So it is up to the developer, his financial strength and his execution pattern is something that he will govern and not us.
What I want to ask now, is it possible to segregate that process into separate process?
If the building is separate, then it is possible to segregate the two buildings into two different societies. The land continues to remain with the society. For purpose of administration, there can be two different societies.
Because you don't want to get into the
Commercial.
Yeah, so it is up to you whether you want to transfer the land also, then the subdivision has to be done. If you want to only have administratively different society, then that is possible.
But it is up to the members to select whether you need banks or two large units of commercial or
That can be a tender condition.
yeah, it has to be a temporary condition. We cannot give that to a developer to have it. We don't like to have a developer to have it in that.
Sir, how can you restrict a developer from giving it to bank? Because that means he cannot sell it. That means you have to own it.
If you would like to have that, we don't want small.
Okay, then yeah, so then that's a parameter of.
We don't want small units to have you manage two entities. Then you would have to demarcate.
Yeah, so anyway, commercial premises you'll have to demarcate. Otherwise, they will be a nuisance to you. Sir, I think let's not talk about design right now. अभी डिजाइन के बारे में बात करके कोई फायदा नहीं. हाँ 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 वो तो हो जाएगा. अभी क्या करेंगे. तकलीफ नहीं होगा. एफएस तो वापर सकते हैं. आपका डेप्थ है. सर आप कमर्शियल बांध दो या वहाँ पे रेसिडेंशियल बांध दो. पीछे तो रेसिडेंशियल आने ही वाला है. 51 meters. Ground plus 14 you can say. सर डिजाइन की अभी बात नहीं करते. डिजाइन की बात बाद में करते हैं. अभी आप हमारे बारे में पूछे. सर कैसा है ना, मेरे पास आपका प्लॉट है ना, मेरे पास आपके प्लॉट के डॉक्यूमेंट है. तो डिजाइन के बारे में आज बात करना मेरे लिए डिफिकल्ट है, क्योंकि मैं कुछ बोल दूंगा, आपने रिकॉर्ड किया है, फिर आप मुझे 2 महीने बाद बोले कि आपने तभी ये बोला. तो अभी रिकॉर्ड हो रहा है इसके लिए. हाँ तीन तरह का ट्राइपार्टिट एग्रीमेंट होता है. एक होता है आपका एलिजिबल एरिया, यानी डेवलपर ने जो आपको एडिशनल एरिया दिया है. अभी बहुत से मेंबर्स ऐसे होते हैं जो बोलते हैं कि मेरा अभी 700 स्क्वायर फुट है, मेरा 1000 स्क्वायर फुट हो जाएगा, मैं इतना बड़ा फ्लैट लेके क्या करूंगा, मेरे बच्चे तो अभी यूएस में रहते हैं, इतना फ्लैट साफ सफाई कौन करेगा, तो मुझे 700 स्क्वायर फुट का ही फ्लैट दो, 300 स्क्वायर फुट में डेवलपर को बेचता हूँ. तो वो हो गया सरेंडर्ड एरिया ट्राइपार्टिट एग्रीमेंट. कोई होगा वो, मेरे पास ऐसे बहुत रिक्वेस्ट आते हैं कि सर अभी तो मेरा 1000 स्क्वायर फुट बन रहा है, लेकिन मेरे 2 लड़के हैं, तो मैं क्या करता हूँ 200-300 स्क्वायर फुट एडिशनल ले लेता हूँ, मेरा फ्लैट 2 पार्ट पे डिवाइड कर देता हूँ, एक फ्लैट के 2 फ्लैट बनाता हूँ. ठीक है. फिर मैं एडिशनल किचन और एडिशनल टॉयलेट, क्योंकि एक फ्लैट जब भी आपको मिलता है तभी आपको एक ही किचन मिलता है और 3 टॉयलेट मिलती है, 2 टॉयलेट मिलते हैं. जब भी आप 2 फ्लैट लेते हो तो आपको एडिशनल किचन मिलता है और एडिशनल 2 टॉयलेट मिलते हैं. उसका मैं एडिशनल पैसा भरता हूँ. और क्योंकि अभी शेयर सर्टिफिकेट नए होने वाले हैं, तो मेरा एडिशनल फ्लैट नया रजिस्ट्रेशन हो जाएगा, मेरा एग्जिस्टिंग फ्लैट एग्जिस्टिंग रजिस्ट्रेशन हो जाएगा, मेरे 2 फ्लैट्स हो जाएंगे. वो होता है परचेज एरिया ट्राइपार्टिट एग्रीमेंट. समझ में आ गया. हाँ वो मेंबर का ही है ना. सर ट्राइपार्टिट एग्रीमेंट में सोसाइटी ही साइन करेगी. आपने क्या किया, आपने सिर्फ एडिशनल एरिया लिया है ना, और उसका रेट डेवलपमेंट एग्रीमेंट में भी मेंशन है, ट्राइपार्टिट एग्रीमेंट में भी मेंशन है. सर सोसाइटी साइन करेगी. सोसाइटी ही साइन करेगी, मेंबर के नाम पे ही रहेगा.
अगर बैंक को लीज दिया है डेवलपर, that money will come to society or
the developer.
You will give them.
The money will be with the developer and those flat membership will be there with the developer.
Will you help us in identifying the developers, then tender notices and publishing the developers? How do you?
No, identify the developers, send tender notice, and what was the third?
Start with the developers and analyze. Start with the developers and analyze.
Yes, yes.
How do you propose to do?
See, a tender document is floated, via paper, newspaper advertisement.
That is what.
Yeah, that is one thing, or through private bidding. Yeah, the society can recommend developers. It is a resolution of the society. Post. Huh? Preferable is the paper notice, because that's a transparent way of doing it. No favoritism. But many times society feels कि unnecessary कोई छोटा मोटा डेवलपर भी आ जाएगा, उससे अच्छे पार्ट डेवलपर ले लो और उनको ही बोलो बिड करने के लिए. मेनी टाइम्स इट हैपेंस इन चेंबूर, क्योंकि चेंबूर हैज द प्रेफरेंस ऑफ डेवलपर्स. बट tender notice via the newspaper in the Times of India and Maharashtra Times is an ideal way of doing it. डेवलपर्स का डॉक्यूमेंटेशन आने के बाद उसका एक कमर्शियल फ्लो चार्ट बनाया जाता है. कौन डेवलपर है, पार्टनरशिप फर्म है, प्राइवेट लिमिटेड है, एलएलपी है, प्रोप्राइटर है, किस तरह की उसकी नेटवर्थ है, 3 साल का एनुअल रिटर्न क्या कहता है, कहाँ कहाँ प्रोजेक्ट किए हैं, कितने टाइम में कंप्लीट किए हैं, किस बैंक में उसके अकाउंट्स है, किस तरह की बैंक गारंटी प्रोवाइड करता है. ये सारा डॉक्यूमेंटेशन किया जाता है और ये डॉक्यूमेंटेशन में से रैंकिंग दिया जाता है. फिर टॉप 5 को हम लोग सिलेक्ट कर सकते हैं फॉर फेज 1. फिर उनके साइट विजिट करना, लोगों से बात करना, कंस्ट्रक्शन क्वालिटी चेक करना, किस तरह के डिजाइन से वो चेक करना. इससे आप टॉप 5 या टॉप 3 तक लेके आ सकते हो. ये तीनों को लेके आप जनरल बॉडी में आ सकते हो और बोल सकते हो ये 3 या ये 5 हम लोग ने शॉर्टलिस्ट किए हैं, इसमें से हमको ये लगता है कि ये ऑर्डर में होना चाहिए और इसके ये रीजन है. फिर जनरल बॉडी स्क्रूटिनी करेगी, जनरल बॉडी कुछ रिकमेंडेशन देंगी और फिर रजिस्ट्रार को बुला के एक डेवलपर को सिलेक्ट किया जाएगा. ये प्रोसीजर है. नहीं, एक ही जनरल बॉडी होगा. एक उसके पहले प्रेजेंटेशन होगा. जनरल बॉडी क्यों नहीं लेना चाहिए, क्योंकि 66% अटेंडेंस होना कंपलसरी है. तो जनरल बॉडी सिर्फ जब भी आपको डेवलपर अपॉइंट करना है तभी लीजिए. डेवलपर के प्रेजेंटेशन के लिए अलग टाइम दीजिए. Since I know the laws, because I am a chairman, it's always advisable to have general bodies, 1, during your decision to redevelop, 2, during selection of developer, and 3rd, during finalization of development agreement. उसके बाद जनरल बॉडी लेने की जरूरत नहीं है. सेकेंड, जब भी आप डेवलपर अपॉइंट करने वाले हो तब. Not required. Preferred, if you want, you can give a presentation to the members, not terming it as a general body. Both are same. LLP बंद करना आसान है, प्राइवेट लिमिटेड कंपनी बंद करना मुश्किल है थोड़ा. Sir, can you brief about? Ajay, you want a specific briefing? Sir, I think you should avoid such questions in the Zoom call, because I don't know why I should talk about Lakhani builders only. Sir, I think let's avoid this question, because unnecessary preferential treatment दिया जाएगा, and as a managing committee member, I will advise you don't do it. Yes, normally what we do is, after the tender advertisement, depending on the scale of the project, we write an email to developers that this tender has been floated. Kindly look into the tender. If you are interested, take the tender out. But that is depending on the scale of the project and the location. Like, I will not ask a Kalpatru to come for your project. Not worth. Sir, to reach the top management for us becomes a problem. Even shade developers, they need a chunk. Their overheads are too high and their offers are too low. Yeah, somebody who has the hunger to do it, currently is having less work, has executed more work, has a good construction quality, and will give justice to the plot. नहीं नहीं, ज्यादा से ज्यादा तो मुझे भी चाहिए रहता है या बट ज्यादा देने वाला डेवलपर अच्छा है कि नहीं वो देखना बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है. स्मॉल टाइम डेवलपर विल गिव यू मोर बट ही विल डिलीवर लेस. Might as well don't take a top most, take a mid scale A category, B plus category developer who will give you average but complete in 2 years of time. I'll tell you a simple example. If somebody is giving me 35% and a small time developer is giving me 40%, I'll go for 35%. One, that 5% will increase my each room by only 6 inches. But that developer will increase my market value by 10%. And save my life for another 2 or 3 years by being in less stress. Yeah, that's the difference. Anything else? Aji sir, I'll request you, ask anything. The ladies around. Ma'am, ask anything. The smallest thing that you want how the kitchen will look like, ask it. You tell me that I want modular kitchen in the tender. No, I am telling you, you tell it this way. Then all the gents will comply.
Yes, Mangala.
Yeah, the balcony, you should demand. Enclosing balcony or not enclosing balcony doesn't make a difference.
A small question.
You can just remove the mask.
The correlation between the TDR and the extra square feet which the members will be getting.
Okay.
In 2 days, I am getting this feeling that people might get 200%, 100%, 150%. So if you tell something, then there will be a clarity on that.
See, I'll give a clarity on the TDR. I cannot give a clarity on 200%, 100%, and 150%. No, because I'll tell you it is this way. One FSI is free of cost. If your land area is 3,000 square meters, 3,000 square meters, the corporation does not charge you any premium. The next is 0.5 FSI, where the corporation charges you 35% of the ready reckoner as the cost of FSI. Third is your TDR, which you get it at 0.9, that is 90% of your plot area. So 3,000 is your plot area, you get another 2,700 as your TDR, and then you get 35% fungible. So totally on 3,000 square meters of plot area, you get 3.24 FSI, which is 3 times your plot area. Yeah, so you have to multiply 3,000 by 3.24. You will get around 10,200 something of area. So your question is 300% buildable potential you are getting, out of which how much the developer is ready to share with you, you will come to know by the tender document. In the feasibility, we will give you a broader idea. The tender document is the real test of how much the developers are ready to share with you. एक बार
carpet area design हो गया, then there should not be any
no
reduction in the area.
no
So plus floor का सब problem आ जाता है इससे.
नहीं आएगा सर. अभी कैसे होता है, अभी ग्राउंड फ्लोर से फर्स्ट फ्लोर तक सारे कॉलम एक ही साइज के होते हैं और सारे कॉलम सारे वॉल्स कॉलम्स ही होते हैं. तो आजकल जो एरिया ग्राउंड फ्लोर पे है वही एरिया 14th फ्लोर पे भी है. अगर डोर, the door area is part of carpet area. Carpet area.
Then what is the height of the room?
Around 9.5 feet.
Okay, 9.5.
Because there is height restriction.
9.5 ceiling to bottom?
नहीं नहीं, floor to bottom of ceiling.
Bottom of ceiling.
9.5 फुट. 9.5 फुट. नहीं, floor to floor 10 फुट.
You said you will be taking only 3 or 4 projects every year. But the number of projects, continuing projects, is going on increasing.
Yeah, sir.
Because every year 4 may not come down.
Sir, I'll tell you this way. I have 54 weeks in a year. I am needed more for general bodies. Your general bodies in 1 year would not be more than 2 or 3. Rest of the time, my office is needed for you. Correct? Yes. Now, once the development agreement starts, is a legal advisor who is taking over the project. Once the construction starts, it is the engineers who are taking over the project. So that office comes over here. So what we have done is we have distributed the projects into various parts, wherein various consultants take up. Only the coordination is something that my office will continue to do. You have to call me and I'll get all the compliances done for you. But in the initial stage, when I have to give you time till the selection of developer, that time is very critical, where over a period of years, whatever projects that are going on, those have gone to a stage where my requirement is not there in that project. So that's how we are managing it. Plus I have my partners, my associates, who can come for those meetings where I need not come. When there is a meeting between an architect and my other architect can come for that meeting. But when it is general body, I have to come. Because my expertise is the pulse of the member. And to explain to the member what is right and what is within the framework of the cooperative law. Yeah. Even though I am an architect, but in this 10 years in redevelopment, I have got used to bylaws and codes and how to represent in the code, where the developer and the member can fudge you or trouble you.
Generally, what are the reasons for delay in a project? How you are going to help?
Sir, I told you, first trouble is a member not agreeing with one of the committee members. So he tries to gain importance by opposing the project and makes a point that it is not because of me the project is stalled, but it is because of the managing committee who didn't reply to me.
This point will come till the time of package.
No, this part will come till the time of development agreement and individual consent. So once there is 75% consent, then you can take the help of the court in vacating the person. No, sir. 66% is the requirement. सर 51% में ना डेवलपर ही काम नहीं चालू करेगा, ठीक है, बोलेगा वो कौन कोर्टबाजी करेगा, इतना पैसा बहुत जाता है कोर्ट में और टाइम भी बहुत जाता है. एंड सिंस ही हैज साइंड अ डेवलपमेंट एग्रीमेंट, हिज 2 or 3 crores is already into your project. So he will insist, before I sign the development agreement, it is always better that I get so many consents. 1 or 2 here and there is okay, but 51 and 49 not okay.
Outside. Will it have any impact on our?
So those are given by corporation, so they will be handled by corporation.
No, sir, can you put it in the tender for removal? So the developer can take care of it.
I think let's check it out. Let's not comment it in this platform. सर वो एक नोटिस कॉर्पोरेशन देती है सबको, ऑल इंटरेस्टेड पार्टी. Ideally no. Why no? Because you recorded it. No, sir, I don't give it.
Because there are some points, like members.
Sir, that I'll give it to you.
Only members responsibility. Members responsibility point.
Sir, that I'll give it to you.
Video and all those things. Because we want to educate members.
Yeah. So you, whatever you want, you mail it to me. Whatever data I have, I'll give it to you.
We don't want that your project details and all those things.
So that is everything there in my profile. No, no, I'll give it to you. Those 2-3 slides, I'll give it to you.
Only those 2-3 slides. Members responsibility, RERA, benefits and all those.
Yes.
Right. Regarding RERA, you were mentioning that RERA is more for
Buyers.
buyers. So, what way our society will be beneficial by RERA?
So, because of RERA, the project is protected. For members, the development agreement is the protection.
I think we are also equally liable to the new members in the time project is.
Yes. If you do not do the documentation properly, you can be called by the courts asking why were these compliances not followed, or why didn't you reprimand the developer as per your development agreement.
But you will be there to guide all those points.
Sir, I'll be there throughout the project. But whenever there is a default in the timelines, the next day my letter will come to you that there is a default.
From the RERA.
No, from my office it will come to you.
See, even if there is a delay in timeline, RERA also will be
Yes.
sending a notice and all those things.
No, RERA doesn't send notice. There is a grace period to an agreement. The defaults need to be proved. There is a delay in approval. There is a stay on certain regulation, like the High Court stay came in. So the developer will have to represent to RERA that my 6 months are lost because of such and such reason. Then he gets an extension.
Because in and around Chembur also, there are lots of projects which are getting delayed.
Sir, I told you since 2014,
Even recent,
the recent also, projects are getting delayed because of lack of regulations from the corporation.
that is always there.
That risk is always there. Statutory risks are always there.
For instance, right opposite to after all, it is doing more than 5 years.
Yes.
Correct is not.
So what to do? Unlucky.
We are not clear whether it is for statutory requirement or is it we are not clear about it. How can we think that will come now?
About their project?
Their project you cannot comment.
Exactly.
But in general, what happens is that
See, I'll tell you what you should tell the developer to do. Ask him to load your area, that is your existing area plus additional area, plus the staircase and lift area. Ask him to load on day 1. So you are secured. Even if you throw him out, you can build it yourself. Secondly, there is a provision in the corporation that the developer can load FSI 1 and TDR on day 1. He can buy the premium FSI and fungible and pay it in installments of 2 years to the corporation. So the entire FSI is loaded on day 1. That is the best security that you have. Then you need not have bank guarantee, nothing. The developer's entire money is invested in your project. And take bank guarantee of minimum of 12 months for your rent. So even if you want to throw out a developer, the maximum time required for throwing out a developer is 12 months.
as per your project, load full TDR and 12 months.
12 months bank guarantee. Don't ask for a bank guarantee of 40 crores, 50 crores, 100 crores, because no developer gives it right now.
Enough with bank guarantee, you are asking
Yeah, you can take his flats on lien in his other projects. So select a developer who has a good market presence, and has sufficient stock to keep it lean in your society as bank guarantee. Sir, if you ask him to invest more, the offer will be less. But sir, I think that is still better. In Mumbai, getting a house in 3 years of time is the most priciest thing that you can ever get.
आपने बोला था पूरा क्लियर बोलते हो 12 महीने का रेंट आप बैंक गारंटी मार दो बराबर सपोज हो गया था कंसेशन को करे कंसेशन का तो देना पड़ेगा ना
कंसेशन क्या है
हमारा बैंक कंस्ट्रक्शन नहीं अभी अब बोल रहे हैं तो हमारा टीडीएस हो गया 12 महीने का बैंक गारंटी हो गया बराबर तो
सर
नहीं किया
जो डेवलपर इतना लोड करेगा वो सिर्फ कंस्ट्रक्शन के लिए आपका प्रोजेक्ट छोड़ देगा सिर्फ कंस्ट्रक्शन के लिए आपका प्रोजेक्ट छोड़ देगा सर ऐसा डेवलपर सिलेक्ट ही मत करो लेकिन आपको सबका गारंटी चाहिए तो सर मेरे से सुन लो यानी आप इतना डायरेक्ट क्वेश्चन पूछ रहे हो इससे आंसर भी डायरेक्ट ले लो डेवलपर ही नहीं आएगा
हमारा दिमाग में ऐसे था अभी हमारा इतने अभी
सर सारा सिक्योरिटी दे दो और मुझे डेवलपर लाके दिखाओ एफएसआई भी लोड करो प्रोजेक्ट का 100% बैंक गारंटी भी दो तो वो बोलेगा सर आप ही कंस्ट्रक्ट करो ना मैं क्यों चाहिए रह क्या गया बैंक के पास जाना है वो मॉर्गेज रखना है और कंस्ट्रक्शन फाइनेंस लेना है तो हम लोग ही बांध देंगे वो बोलेगा जब आपका प्रॉफिट होगा तो मुझे आके दे के जाओ सर ऐसे नहीं होता है प्रोजेक्ट या Sir, my complete service ka booklet has been given to him. I have mailed my recent thing. I'll also give you the hard copy. But right from feasibility till the occupation, my service of being an architect and a structural engineer has been provided. The society has requested only provide these 2 consultants. The legal advisor and everything else you are going to appoint. So that document even I have mailed it today. I'll give you the hard copy now.
If you are not able to not have that, go and meet our secretary.
In case?
If you are not available, you should not tell them to meet the secretary for all papers.
Sir, I am available for the managing committee at all points of time. I request the members not to contact me individually. Yeah, thank you very much. And even if I am not appointed, you have any problem, any point of time, just call me as a managing committee member. I am there to oblige. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for answering all the queries with patience and, yeah. I'm sure
Yeah.
their queries are clear. And so now I will request Mr. Mohan to give us a thanks.
So, on behalf of the managing committee and the committee members, thanks for your
I'll give you my visiting card. Yeah, I'm keeping it over here. Anybody wants it can take.
So, thank you for your management.
Thank you, sir. And all the best. Sandhya
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye. हाँ दिया ना मेल किया है